Hey listeners, we're nearing the end of our 15th anniversary fundraising campaign, and we need your help to meet our goal. This campaign offers you a chance to win a unique food and music experience in one of the most exciting cities in America. Here's how it works. Donate to HRN and you'll be entered to win dinner for two and 2 tickets to a concert in one of 8 amazing cities: New York, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Nashville, Las Vegas, Charleston, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, and Asheville. All donations support our work educating food system storytellers. And when you donate, you can choose one of those cities and you'll be entered to win dinner and 2 tickets to a show. So help us reach our goal and enter to win dinner and a show in the city of your choice. Check out heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. That's heritageradionetwork.org/15. Thank you.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
I wish that I could say that I have fond childhood memories of my mother making sauce for Sunday dinner. But as it turns out, my mother, your great-grandmother, was not a very good cook. She was a saintly woman and the best mother that one could ever have, but she wasn't a very good cook, so I didn't learn much about food preparation as a kid. I liked to eat, but I didn't learn much about how to prepare food, particularly Italian food. And then when I went off to college, I was living alone, and like most college students who find an apartment and are living on their own, necessity is the mother of invention, and I needed to figure out how to cook in order to survive. And so I started cooking up various dishes and began cooking tomato sauce for my pasta. And as I went along, I made changes and improvements, and I finally found a recipe, and it's as much the ingredients as it is the process of making that sauce that's important to me.
That was John Scarcelli talking about his family's favorite tomato sauce. We'll hear more from John in just a moment. This week will be our last regular episode of the season, and to celebrate, we're throwing a potluck. Whether you're in a college dorm with only a microwave or using heirloom appliances, we've got a recipe for you. I'm Matt Patterson, and this is Meat and 3 on HRN.
Meat and 3.
Meat and 3.
Meat and 3.
1 meat, 3 sides.
Food, news, and storytelling.
A square meal. For your ears.
Meat and 3.
This episode, we're doing something a little different. For one thing, we have more than 4 stories. Also, I'm sitting in the Roberta's studio, which is a nice change of pace. And I'm not alone.
Hey, Matt.
Hi, Taylor. So that is Taylor Early. Taylor has been the Julia Child Writing Fellow with HRN for 2022 to 2023, working on The Build. You should listen.
It's bingeable now.
The Build on opening soon. She has also been, more recently, a producer on this show, as well as coordinating interns. And as Jimmy Carboni, the host of Beer Sessions Radio, likes to say, Taylor is an all-around HRN superstar, which we should get printed on business cards for you. Taylor, can you talk to me about the genesis of the idea for this episode?
I would love to. So this potluck cook-along episode was one of the very first things that I pitched when I joined HRN in December of 2022. I was so excited to be amongst people who thought about food all the time and working in food media. And I'm based usually full-time in Amsterdam. And there were folks who were local to New York who got to hang out and eat pizza together at Roberta's, and I was extremely jealous and feeling FOMO. And so Originally, I wanted to pitch this cook-along idea that we would all get on Google Meet in our respective little boxes and cook a recipe together and then share it with all of you. And it morphed over time into this kind of potluck idea where instead of just cooking together, it turned into sharing recipes and sharing the things that nourish us, food and otherwise. And I'm really, really excited for you all to hear what we have put together for you.
Yeah, so at the top of the show, you heard John Scarcelli talking about teaching himself to cook while he was away at college. Next, we'll hear more from John in conversation with his granddaughter and HRN producer, Charlotte Rhodes.
Every Sunday growing up, my grandfather Pappy would make us dinner. Each meal featured his homemade tomato sauce with pasta and eggplant parmesan with a variety of Italian meat dishes. Pappy's sauce is like gold. Its lore is so large. I had always believed this recipe had been handed down through generations of Scarcellis, rather than being invented in Pappy's college apartment. Regardless, it is my most treasured family heirloom. As my contribution to the Meat and 3 potluck, I would like to give the gift of Pappy sauce. Hi, Pappy.
Hi, Charlotte.
Thank you for sitting down and talking with me.
Love to do it. Love to do it.
Okay, so my question for you is, what does your tomato sauce recipe and cooking that tomato sauce mean to you?
It means a great deal. There are so many memories that are tied up in the sauce, and it's less the taste and flavor of the sauce than all the reminders that come up when I'm making it and eating it and serving it to my family, who I believe enjoys it. It obviously means sustenance. It's something to eat, something I enjoy eating. But I think more importantly for me, the making of the sauce and the sharing it with friends and particularly with family is what the sauce is all about and what sitting down and eating it is all about. It's about the family and the memories and the time spent together that was built around sauce, the sauce used for pasta and eggplant and chicken parmesan and other things. And it's something that, is used in many different dishes that I've made over the years and shared with, again, friends and family. It's liquid memories.
To me, there is no better way to describe Pappy sauce than liquid memories. The richness of the sauce lies beyond the spices, red wine, and the Contadina brand canned tomatoes. The secret to its sweetness is not just the secret ingredient, but a deep resonance of care. In each bite, there is a community of everyone who has taken part in the ritual of eating Pappy sauce.
Charlotte, thank you so much for sharing your Pappy with us. What a beautiful relationship that we just got to witness. I think the thing that got me was the deep resonance of care and the fact that this sauce is not just a sauce that Pappy taught himself to cook to sustain himself, but it was the creation of a new tradition that nourished his community and created that ritual together. The co-creation of that ritual is really amazing to witness.
Yeah, and before we leave the dorm, we have one more story of cooking at college. Producer Sasha DeBose gives us a love letter to their favorite dorm room appliance.
I'm a student at NYU. I'm an RA in a first-year residence hall, meaning I don't have access to a kitchen, which as a food studies major is particularly difficult because I cook a lot. I love to cook. I've had a little love affair with Shin ramen lately, spicy Shin ramen. I had a very healing bowl of Shin ramen in March and haven't been the same since. So it's been my go-to ramen for a while now. I can't have ramen without toppings. So today I have frozen spinach. I still have some eggs from when I went to the farmer's market last week. And I have some kimchi. So that's what we're gonna be rocking with. I have my any day deep dish filled with water. I'm going to open the Shin Ramen packet. Place the noodles in there. I'm gonna put this in the microwave now. So I'm gonna do like 4 minutes. It's been 4 minutes. So now I just kind of take my fork and like break the noodles up a little bit because they're still kind of in that congealed form. Today, to fry my egg, I'm gonna use bacon fat from bacon that I, yes, in fact, cooked in the microwave. I know, I'm so cool. I only have my desk and a little table where my microwave sits. So in order to cook with my mini griddle, I'm like squatting on the floor. I add a little water so my egg whites don't get too crunchy. And the egg doesn't get soggy because the water boils out anyway. Now my egg looks nice and cooked. I'm gonna take it out with my fork, trying not to die. I won't die, I'm just dramatic. Now I'll transport my giant hunka chunka, big massive BBL bowl of ramen over to my desk, which is where I eat because it has the best light. I'm gonna break my absolutely gorgeous and perfectly cooked egg. I feel like a lot of cooking in a dorm and cooking as a college student is making it work with what you have. I don't think I've made a ramen bowl that looks the same. I think almost every bowl of ramen I've made looks different. So that's the fun part about making ramen. You gotta get a big slurp. Yeah, that's good.
I love listening to Sasha.
Shout out to Sasha, who kept us laughing in production meetings. Hunka chunka, the slurp sounds, and they really made an amazing point about making it work with what you have as a college student and as a freelancer, also making it work with what you have. Sometimes when you go into your pantry and you are on a budget, you become a chop champion. And some of the best meals I've ever had have come out of just being creative and working with what I had. And I felt nourished and I felt really proud of the things that I put together. So shout out to you, Sasha. Matt has an important update on Sasha.
And also, an important update in case anyone was worried. We had the pleasure of seeing Sasha last night, and we can confirm that in their senior year, they're no longer living that kitchen-free life. They have all the appliances. Still love the microwave, though. And we're not done with Sasha. I believe you and Sasha have a story coming up later.
You all are in for a treat if you could not get enough of Sasha's slurp sounds. We got a few more coming up in just a bit.
For the next story, we're sticking with appliances, but instead of a microwave passed down from student to student year after year, we have a much-loved family heirloom passed down from generation to generation. H. Connolly tells the story.
My partner Griffin has this ancient rice cooker. It was a wedding gift from his grandma to his parents, who got married in 1986. And for most of its life, it's only cooked rice. But then he started using it to heat up leftovers, and in the last few years, he's been pushing it to new culinary heights.
I figured, well, I can't really burn anything in the rice cooker. So let me try cooking lentils, because I have a bunch of other stuff on the stove and I want lentils on the side, and if it doesn't work out, I can still just later take the, they'll be partially cooked lentils, worst case scenario. They'll at least be softened. And instead, I got some of the fluffiest, tastiest, creamiest lentils I had ever done.
So how do you rice cook lentils?
I'm going to put right into the rice cooker and put it on cook function, the red onion, some butter, the spices, and some carrots to give some texture and appearance to the lentils in their final form.
The spices we used this time were garlic, paprika, cumin, and coriander. He adds the lentils after about 5 minutes.
I just added a healthy glug of some homemade spicy chili oil. I'm looking for my carrots and onions to be softened because I want them to almost be turning into a sauce for the lentils to then be coated with before I add the water.
You'll know it's time to add water because
something starts to happen on the outside, and the lentils, they start to shine and they start to glimmer, and that's when I know it's time to add the water. So now I'm going to add the cold water.
While the rice cooker's steaming away, I asked Griff to tell me more about this machine that I've lived with for almost 5 years.
This is the rice cooker that was in my grandma's house in Connecticut when I was growing up as a kid. As a family, we would oftentimes, like my parents and my grandma, have cousins over or friends over for dinner. And anytime we were going to have a large group of people, my dad would break out his Zarushi rice maker, and he would sort of have me watch when I was really young, and eventually he would have me help or just do it myself.
He spent a lot of time at his grandma's house growing up.
So my grandma had MS, multiple sclerosis, and by the time I had any memories, she was fully paralyzed from the neck down. But she did have this gorgeous house directly on the beach of Shoreline, Connecticut in the Long Island Sound. And she could be wheeled out onto the porch and watch the most beautiful seaside sunsets and sunrises. And it had a huge kitchen. The kitchen was maybe one of the biggest rooms in the house, and it was yellow walled and yellow countered and had ornate beige and red linoleum tiling, like a almost Greek inspired, super 50s.
His grandma passed away when he was in high school, but they didn't pack up and sell the house till he was done with college and moving into his own apartment.
It's been around the block. It still works perfect, but I think it is showing its age. The inside of it has got scorch marks from how many times it's been used. And I don't want anyone to be like, it's because you use your rice cooker wrong. The scorch marks were there from the 3-4 decades of my grandma and my dad using it. This just for rice, just for white or brown rice, until I decided that it was going to take on the culinary world.
4 moves later, we still eat off her plates with her silverware, and of course, make food in this rice cooker. When we tried this batch, the peas are really nice.
Yeah. Adding green peas at the end. Just like my dad did with the white rice in the rice cooker. That was like a classic childhood comfort meal. Yeah. Yeah, another successful batch of lentils.
The best thing about this old rice cooker is its simplicity.
I really like that it can only fail so much because it can only do 3 things, which are heat water up to boiling point, keep something at a little under boiling point, or be off by unplugging it. It doesn't have an off switch. It's like I'm in the wall, I'm working. If I'm out of the wall, I'm off the clock. I respect it. I respect the machine.
Yes, well, it is very far your senior, so...
Oh my gosh, yeah. Holy crap. It's really my older sibling, isn't it? It's the older sibling.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's your title is how a rice cooker was the older brother that taught me how to cook.
I feel like that's a little long for a title, but I love Griffin's take in the story.
You gotta respect the machine. that just wraps that entire story up so nicely. Are you still hungry? Sasha joined me way back in June for an intercontinental butter pasta cook-along. We promised more Sasha. Here you go.
All right, shall we get some water boiling?
The water sounds are about to go crazy. I am back in the city, and I have a kitchen this time, guys. I'm boiling water on a stove, not my microwave.
What's your pasta shape of choice? Today I'm going with classique macaroni.
No way! I got the elbows. No, I was about to be like, I'm really pulling up with this macaroni.
My partner usually keeps our kitchen well stocked with the spices and seasonings, so I have gochujang today.
Right now I'm cutting up my radishes. It's mainly, I have more radish greens than I do actual radishes.
What's the plan for the greens?
I don't know.
You could wilt them a little bit in the pan. I can't believe you pulled them out of the ground.
I literally pulled them out of the ground this morning. This is farm to table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My water's at a boil. Not me almost dropping the phone in the pot trying to capture sounds. All right. I am going to cook my noodles for 6 minutes. I'm gonna go 5 minutes actually, because I like finishing the cook in the fake tomato sauce.
No, as you should.
All right, I'm gonna keep a little salt water, pasta water. Sometimes the tomatoes.
When that pasta's done, I'm like, oh, this water has to go. The water has to go down the drain. I can't lose any noodles. And then I start cooking my sauce. I'm like, oh wow, pasta water would be so nice to have right now. And I never have it.
I used to not think anything of it, and then I started reading about pot liquor. And hearing about it, and then I was like, I should probably apply this concept to everything that I cook things in, because why would I waste like nutritious liquids? What?
I'm gonna enter my pot liquor era like very soon. Ooh.
I did have a very interesting experience working on the garden. I grew pointy cabbage, and they were just close enough when I cooked them to like my cousin's recipe that I had at a family function like years ago. It's like, I can't believe I'm having the taste of collards in the Netherlands in this way out of nowhere. It was a really nice moment to realize that like diasporic foods are everywhere.
Diasporic foods are everywhere.
I found some white wine vinegar in our cupboard that I might add to this little tomato sauce situation. Right now I'm cutting probably 2 tablespoons of butter because we are a butter household. So I have kind of broken down my tomatoes. I just added the gochujang. I added like a tablespoon, like a little baby tablespoon, and turned the heat down. So now I'm just kind of rocking with my salted tomatoes broken down. All right.
I don't know why I'm tempted to add some of the miso paste I just got. Like, that would be kind of good, no?
No, that's a good one. I like to cook and bake with white miso.
Oh, yum.
It's a little bit more mild, so it goes in cookies really well and in cheesecake really well. How are your greens doing?
They're looking silky. They're looking a little over, but like, that's life. It's not about the greens, it's about the butter. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah, I'm gonna put my noodles, my macaroni into my sauce. And then I almost always actually serve myself butter pasta with a pat of butter on top, and then like sprinkled with salt and black pepper.
My partner has nice salt, so we're just gonna...
Ooh, I took my pasta off the
Me as well.
Nice. What you got going on?
Got butter and lemon. Like, I don't need much else. I'm a simple person. My pasta needs to have 2 things. Butter and lemon.
Honestly, acid is a game changer. When I started adding like white wine vinegar, white wine, red wine, lemon, any other citrus to anything I was cooking, that's when shit took off.
Real. I wish I had cheese. Sometimes the butter pasta, you need that Parmesan on top. I know. Oh. She better bust that with the Parmesan, and she.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so jealous of you.
Reasonable amount. I'm jealous of your radishes. I think we're even.
Okay, real. You're real for that. I'm about to eat the rest of the pasta out of the pan. Like,
I'm excited for you. That's also one of my favorite things about butter pasta. I used to have this really little pot when I was living in Utrecht, which is a place that I did my master's. And I would just take the pot, take a pot holder, go sit in my bed and eat butter pasta out of my pot. Woo! I hit mine with some parm and some Malden, some flaky salt.
I also did some flaky salt, a lot of black pepper, and some extra butter from the pan. No butter can go to waste.
None, no. I'm gonna have a bite with you.
Oh my gosh, we gotta do a cheers.
Ding, boop. Man, gochujang and white wine vinegar. Oh my god! Do you have a sixth sense? That's amazing. I literally just took a bite.
Nice. This looks amazing.
Now,
Hello.
Sasha. This is my partner, Joe.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi, Joe. It's nice to meet you. Oh my gosh.
Sasha made theirs with radish greens that they
Sweet.
picked out of the ground themselves.
Okay.
I picked them out of the ground this morning.
I love that.
This morning. Butter Pasta Nation, rise up.
Literally, Butter Pasta Nation, rise up. This is for you. This is for all our picky eaters, our, meal on the goers.
Our food media folks who are just trying to sustain themselves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is for everybody who thinks about food all day long, talks about it, writes about it, dreams about it, and needs a little bit of fuel in the form of carbs and butter. We salute you. Thanks for cooking with us.
Go eat some carbs.
I love listening to this. It sounds like you guys had so much fun. I also forgot while listening to you that you weren't in the same room. It just feels like you're just like vibing together. It's great.
We were.
Yeah.
The Google Meet was so lit. It was such a joy to actually realize this original dream for this episode, and Sasha's such a good sport, and it did feel like we were in the same room, especially when we both almost dropped our phones in our pasta water trying to capture the very delicious boiling sounds. So
yeah. And I love this story because it has been often remarked upon how many lunches at HRN consisted of a box of mac and cheese for the various people while we talk about all these fancy food things and high-minded whatever. It's just that's part of how you sustain yourself. So, carbs and butter.
Carbs and butter keeps us going.
So, returning to the heirloom appliances thing, do you have a family heirloom appliance? I don't feel like I have that.
I do, actually. My parents got a KitchenAid, I believe. This is the lore. But they got a KitchenAid when they got married. And that is the first appliance that I learned how to bake on. My first recipe I ever learned was Toll House chocolate chip cookies. The back of the bag of the chocolate chip bag. And we made it once a week in this KitchenAid. And I just... Being back in America, spending time with my family, I just got to make some cookies with my brother in the original, the OG appliance, the OG KitchenAid, and that I would consider an heirloom, for sure.
And the KitchenAid features prominently in this story as well, as Kate Dario rounds out this episode with her family's favorite dessert recipe.
That janky, slightly uneven, mechanical whisking sound you're hearing is my family's KitchenAid, which my parents received as a wedding gift over 30 years ago. In every house we've lived in, so too has that KitchenAid. It's gotten creakier over the years, but the end results have stayed consistently delicious. My parents were married in October of 1990. The day was rainy, the bridesmaid dresses were blue, the flowers were hydrangeas, and the cake was carrot. My mom's birthday is April 27th, in the early days of Taurus season. As her zodiac sign would imply, she's a creature of habit, a champion of if it ain't broke, why fix it? She knows what she likes and she makes no apologies for it. One of those things she likes is carrot cake. On her wedding day, she wanted carrot cake. And this year, on her 58th birthday, she wanted carrot cake. So that's what we are making today. Okay, the grating commences. After grating the carrots, we need to make the rest of the cake batter. So in one bowl, I'm going to put the dry ingredients, and in another bowl, we are going to mix the wet ingredients. And now I'm going to mix in the carrots and the walnuts. And now it's all ready to bake. Okay, I'm putting the cake in the oven now. And then I'm going to set the timer. It's between 35 minutes and 45. So I'm going to do it for 35 and check because I like when it's very moist. Okay, the cake is done baking. It is cooled. And now the best part comes. It's time to celebrate my mom and to enjoy the delicious fruits of our labor. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mom. Happy birthday
to you.
The cake was carrot. I do love that.
It's an excellent line and an excellent cake.
Thank you so much to everybody who contributed to this episode. It was a delight to hear people's partners and families and just get a little slice of the way we sustain ourselves from each one of these people.
Mm-hmm. And I'm very, very sad to break the news to you, dear listeners, that this is our MVP of the whole world, Matt Patterson's last episode.
It is. I have been with Meat 3 since episode 15, so that means
so crazy.
Whatever, well over 160 all by my lonesome, plus some help at the end there, which is great. Thank you, H. Connolly. Thank you, everyone. It has been a joy to work with all of the interns who have come through the program at HRN and worked on this show, and I am excited to see where it goes in the future.
That's our show. Thanks for listening. You can find some of the recipes we cooked this week by checking out our show notes.
Special thanks this week to Charlotte Rhodes and her pappy, Sasha DuBose,
H. Conley and their partner Griffin, and Kate Dario and her family.
Meat 3 is produced by H. Connolly and me, Matt Patterson.
And me, Taylor Early.
Our audio engineer for this episode is H. Connolly. Thank you, H.
Thanks, H. Our theme song was composed by Breakmaster Cylinder.
Oh, wait. It was such a joy to work on with Breakmaster Cylinder's music for this whole time. Let me just tell you. Getting that in there.
It was.
This program is supported in part by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council.
Meat 3 is powered by Simplecast.
Meat 3 is a production of Heritage Radio Network, the world's pioneer food radio station. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org and follow us at heritage_radio. And please stay in touch. Whether you have a story idea or would just like to say hey, write us at ideas@meatand3.nyc. That's all spelled out.
Thank you, Matt Patterson.
Thanks, Taylor. Okay.
And that's a wrap.
We do it?
I think so.
I think we did it.